everyone, and welcome to another edition of Infield Fly. Talking baseball with you this week, recapping a busy week in Major League Baseball, looking ahead to what's coming up this week as well, and getting you caught up to date with everything on the diamond. I am Rob Fisher. I'm a Cardinals fan. Keith Murphy is here. He's a Cubs fan.
Yep.
And Len Whitaker, Braves fan, here as well. Hello, everybody.
What's up?
What's going on, man? What's happening?
Man, I am good. We got a lot to talk about. My team still sucks, so we can avoid that as long as we need to. That's good.
Now the Braves are hot.
Now the Braves.
Yeah, Braves are scorching hot right now.
Cubs are interesting. Ooh, I got some interesting stuff for you regarding the Cubs, Murph.
Yeah, man. We're going to rock and roll with it. Let's see.
That's right. A couple of top stories in baseball this week. I found this story so fascinating about Alek Manoah, pitcher of the Toronto Blue Jays, who last year at this time was 8-2 with an ERA of 2.00. This year, he lost his seventh straight start to go to 1-7 on the year with an ERA of 6.36.
Jeez.
He was sent to the Florida Complex League. Now, when I saw that, I thought to myself, what the hell is the Florida Complex League? The FCL is basically rookie ball. It's the lowest level of the minor leagues and typically features young players who are very early in their careers, most of the time teenagers. Games are played on the back fields of the organization's spring training complex, and Manoah is essentially being sent down to the team's spring complex to work with coaches.
Rough.
Oh, man, that is a demotion.
Yeah, that's brutal.
My goodness. Amazing what has become of him. I mean, he was such a dominant pitcher just a year ago and just can't get it right this year. See,
you think he just lost his confidence? Or you just think it's a mental thing or what?
Seems
well,
like
I guess pitching against teenagers might help that, right?
I don't know.
I mean, it's like the commercial when Jeter comes in to pinch hit.
Right.
Softball league.
Well,
But,
he's been, I mean, it's not like he's been like, iffy.
Right.
He's been really bad.
Yeah, really, really bad. So it'd be interesting. He'll get do whatever he wants there, though. Work however he wants and get coaches whatever they can figure out. But it'll be interesting to see how long he is out. Two things happened with Jacob deGrom. One, he was moved to the 60-day injured list, but with thoughts of him being back June 28th, and then found out he needs Tommy John surgery. And Jacob deGrom is done for the season, and who knows how long he is going to be out. Jacob deGrom, since 2014, he missed time in 2014 with rotator cuff. In May of 2018, elbow. April 2019, elbow. May of 2021, his right side and back. July through October of 2021 with a forearm. April to August of 2022, scapula. April of 2023 to now, he was out 15 days earlier this year with elbow injury, and now from June 2023 through the rest of the season.
Sounds like
a lot of money on that guy.
Sounds like the game of operation, and his contract's not insured. They couldn't get the contract insured because there's such a history of injuries, and it's brutal.
Yeah.
What's amazing is how good they are without him.
Yeah, it is, but you still got to feel bad for the guy. Like he's got Hall of Fame talent. Like if he was to stay relatively healthy, he would be in the Hall of Fame. Like just look at the numbers that he puts up when he's healthy. But when you see that many injuries, that's something different. That's not about, them pitching him too hard or, him being used too much. It's just that's his body just breaking down.
He's just injury prone, I guess.
Yeah.
And I hate saying like guys are sorry, Fish. I hate it when people are like, oh, this guy's injury prone, or
right.
Some people just get hurt a lot.
Yeah.
Seems like deGrom is one of those people.
Absolutely. It seems like that. He, to me, if anyone would ever touch Gibson's 119, deGrom would be that guy.
Oh, easily.
Because when he pitches, he's that dominant.
I had him pegged for that, actually. I thought that he was going to be the guy that was going to reach that milestone. But man, it's just brutal, man.
Yeah. The most innings pitch in a season this decade for Jacob deGrom is 92 innings.
Wow.
That's awful. The other big story this week was the debut of Elly De La Cruz. I've added him to our favorite players because I don't care what y'all think. He is something special to watch and a fun play. I've seen probably 5 of the 6 games that he's played, and he is must watch. He's must watch at the plate. He's terrific in the field. His speed is amazing to watch on the base paths. He is a unicorn. 5-tool guy, easy, amazing to watch.
Who does he remind you of, Fish?
Well, his size reminds you of O'Neal Cruz.
Yeah.
Boy, I don't know, man. How many switch hitters have we seen that look like this guy?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't, and have that sort of speed.
Right. At that size. I
mean, that's the thing. O'Neal Cruz, I mean, he's so new in the league. I mean, I guess the question would be, who did you compare O'Neal Cruz to? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'll tell you what, though, watching him swing, though, I mean, he's got such a long, powerful swing, and it's smooth that it reminds me a little of Jason Hayward.
Interesting.
Just how smooth the guy is. But and that's from the left side. Then he's also a right-handed hitter too. I mean, he is something special. So yeah, check him out if you get the chance. I did a show this morning. I did Gary Parrish show this morning here on Grind City Media. Filled in for Gary, and I did my top 5 exciting players to watch in the league today. My personal top 5 guys that I think are must watch.
In what league?
Baseball, Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
1, I had Shohei.
Okay.
2, Aaron Judge. 3, Ronald Acuna. 4, Fernando Tatis Jr. and 5, Ellie De La Cruz.
Oh wow, that's high praise.
Yeah, so I'll put him up there at number 5.
That's
I think
serious.
He's that special to watch. So check him out. Another thing,
and you're usually not that much of a homer like that. Like when it comes to guys like that. I mean, I've seen you go homer crazy a little bit, but not like that. Not like that. Like this kid must be good.
He is. I mean, the thing is, when he came up, you hope he's one of those guys that he looks like he could be great. I mean, just his size and his speed, and you're like, wow. And you hope he is great, because he could just be a phenomenal player
for
years
Jason Hayward.
to come.
Yeah.
Or he could just be Jason Hayward. Exactly. Yeah. And so you hope for greatness, because you want more great players in the league. You know, hope that O'Neal Cruz is great and his injury is terrible. Hope that Ellie De La Cruz can be great. Hope Julio Rodriguez will turn out to be as great as the contract that they gave him last year, because it's perfect for the game.
But you know what, Lang? As much as we kind of like sometimes make fun of Hayward, that man has a major league career.
Yeah,
still going.
Like he's like.
I read a story.
All of the critics, he shut them up.
Yeah, no. Like, look, I was at Slam Magazine for a long time, and people would always say like, oh, well, Stephon Marbury didn't pan out. And I'd always say, that guy made like $100 million. Like, I don't know how you could say he didn't pan out. Maybe he didn't win a championship.
Right.
And, with Hayward, maybe he didn't reach some of those goals, but he's played for a long time. I actually read a story about Hayward's brother this week. I don't know if you guys saw that. I don't remember if I put it in our chat. He has a younger brother who's like 27, 28, and the Giants hired him as a coach this week. He played in the minors and never got above AAA. And when he got to AAA, wasn't very good. But they saw like how good he was at just interacting with people and stuff. And so like he's managing now like the rookie ball team or something like that for the Giants.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. And so he's like made the transition into management. But I don't know. It's interesting because Hayward's still playing. So
yeah, no kidding. No, he has put a nice career together. One of the few guys that has played for all 3 of our teams, Jason Hayward. So how about that? Speaking of our teams, the Braves. Oh gosh, I mean the Mets, the poor Mets. Man, they just don't want to see the Braves, and it was just so fantastic with Pete Alonso screaming out to the mound, and then the Braves come back, and the Braves players are screaming out at Pete Alonso. And then Pete Alonso gets hit by a pitch and he has to miss the next 2 games, and the Braves just continue to just pile on.
I think it's gonna be more than 2 games for Alonso.
Yeah, it looks like he missed the rest of the 2 games, but he's going to be out like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
But just I mean, how do you feel after a series like that, the ownership that you have of the New York Mets?
You know what made it even better was that I mean, look, all 3 games we came back from at least a 3-run deficit
Which is amazing.
to win. That last game was, Strider versus Verlander, and it's this pitching showdown, and Chipper Jones is in the booth calling the game with John Smoltz and Tom Glavine and
Jeez.
Francoeur. And we go way down early, and Strider's just getting shelled, and they still won the game and got a walk off from Albies. Like that was just unreal. Like, it wasn't that long ago the Mets beat us 4 out of 5, like toward the end of last season, and kind of dominated us. And everybody was like, "Oh, the tide has turned, everything's changed." And then we came roaring back and won the division. And right now, man, I don't know, but I don't feel bad for the Mets fans at all, because I heard the whole offseason about how they spent all this money and how great they were going to be and all this, but they look not very good right now.
No.
And look, Diaz being out is horrible. Like, I know they don't plan on that, and you think, because that changes your whole bullpen. And I heard a lot of talk about that last weekend, about how with him out, everybody has to move an inning, and it's, they couldn't hold a lead in any of those games.
Yeah, absolutely. And good news for the Braves too. Game 2 of that series, a Michael Harris game.
Yeah, he's back. He looks good. He
was great.
Hits, starting to get home runs. And Chipper mentioned on the broadcast, he was like, look, he made some good defensive plays. And he was like, Chipper said something about, like, this is why, even if his swing's not there, you can't send him down, because he's a plus defensive player in center field. And he'll still save you runs in the outfield, while he gets his swing worked out. But it looks like his swing's worked out. He's hitting the ball the opposite way and hitting with power and all that stuff now.
I mean, if he can make his money like Hayward, I know we keep coming back to Hayward. It's like a drinking game, right? But if he can make his money like that, like a guy like, oh, we can't really trade him because he's like a Gold Glover and in outfield, that type of thing. Man, that's a great career.
I mean, also he's signed for the next 10 years or whatever it is, set up below market price. So, like, I don't think they're going to trade him anytime soon.
AJ Smith-Shawver got his first appearance and then his first start. And he went 5 1/3, 3 hits, 2 runs, none of them earned, 2 strikeouts, 2 walks, and no decision. The thing that impressed, his relief appearance was really impressive when he didn't give up anything. In a couple of innings, but his start, I think he looks very composed. Looks like he should be in the big leagues.
Yeah, he looks awesome. He was apparently like a awesome high school football player in Texas, and like that was kind of his main thing. And then baseball was sort of the something else he did. And all of a sudden he became like a great pitcher. And he was playing in high school 2 years ago or something like that. Now he's starting in the majors. So.
And his climb was amazing. 2 games at single A, 2 games at double A, 2 games at triple A, and then the big leagues.
And we need pitchers. Like we're Kyle Wright's hurt, Max Fried is hurt, Ian Anderson's got surgery, he's out for a year. Like, Soroka couldn't do it. Like, we need pitchers bad. So
is he from your farm system?
Yeah.
Man, listen, somebody needs to do an investigation on the Braves farm system, because there's a lot of stuff going on there, man. This is crazy.
The Astros already hired away the guy. He's their GM now. Like, the guy who was running the Braves farm system the last few years is the Astros GM. So
to the cheaters. Well, there you go. He went to the team of cheaters. So you're right, Murph. As you mentioned, like, Soroka was sent to AAA. Fried moved to the 60-day injured list as well.
Yeah.
Cubs, meanwhile,
roller coaster.
Split 4 at San Diego. That series finished up on Monday. Kyle Hendricks lost a tight one to Blake Snell. Swept 3 games in Los Angeles against the Angels, but then finish up that West Coast swing, winning 2 of 3 in San Francisco. Stroman again with a win, his 5th straight win. Hendricks was 8 scoreless innings, giving up just 1 hit. Mervis with a home run, Morel with a home run. Everything looked good in San Francisco, Murph.
Listen, I told you I like the Mervis kid. I told you I liked him. I liked him when he came up. I told you that if we can get Hendricks back in any type of capacity, he was going to pay off for him, because he's been really steady. Stroman is like, man, he's been like this revelation. Listen, I like this team. I still think that we're like a top heavy team. There's not much behind us, right? There's not a lot of bench to help us out on certain things. And then we'll get shellacked one game like 13-3. Then we'll shut out another game. We're just too inconsistent. But I like to play for my guys. I like to play from our pitchers, especially. I'm half and half on this team right now.
Yeah, I think a goal right now for both the I keep talking about the Cardinals and how far out they are for the division lead. I think the key for both teams, Cardinals and the Cubs, let's catch the Reds.
Yes.
Let's start there. The Reds are exciting to watch. They got some really good young players. We just talked about Ellie De La Cruz, but the Reds should be in last place in that division. So let's catch the Reds. Let's work on that. And the Cubs got a little work to do in catching the Reds, so much so that Matt Snyder of CBSSports.com writes this week, this is the headline: 4th place Cubs with NL Central up for grabs are blowing their shot. Is Jed Hoyer to blame? If things don't turn around for the Cubs, should they seek a new club president?
Yes and yes.
Wow.
Yes and yes to everything. Club president and manager.
I knew David Ross is gonna get thrown under the bus on this.
But it's more, you know what, even more than, because I've been slagging on Ross like this whole season. But
yeah, we know.
But the president, some of the moves that he's made, the fact that certain players should be called up, they were not called up in time. When players got injured, he wasn't really filling up the bench like he should have, just to protect this team. Because when guys are falling out left and right with injuries, man, you gotta have some utility people out there to really help out. So yeah, the president, people are calling that, they're looking at the president funny right now. Looking at him real funny.
I thought you'd like this, because this is what he says about Ross. Says that Ross needs to take some of the blame when it comes to no one having defined roles in the bullpen.
Yep.
Also not putting his players in the right position to succeed offensively. Also had a first place team collapse on him in 2021, which triggered the sell-off. Even this season, the Cubs were 11-6 and 14-10 to start the year. They've gone 12-26 since, which is the second worst mark in front of the A's. I'm still not sure Ross is a bad manager, but we've seen enough to know we can't say for certain he's a good manager. At some point, the negatives seem to outweigh the positives on the old resume.
This is the thing. Your manager, when you see a manager losing leads, right? Like the Cubs, I can't tell you how many times this season the Cubs were up 3-4 runs, 2 runs, late in the innings. And for some reason, we just lose it. Yeah. Maybe our bullpen is not there. But it just seems like the type of move that he makes. He puts pitchers in there that just should not be in there in that situation. He sits guys down that are hot. Like, it's just weird things that he does. He does this like from intuition, but he's not built like that. You're not La Russa, right? Like, I know we make jokes about La Russa, but La Russa in his prime was an instincts guy. That was his whole magic, and he's not built like that.
It might be a good thing that you're not La Russa.
Yeah,
Could be.
Yeah.
It feels like 90% of being a manager is just doing logical things.
Yes.
And then every once in a while, you kind of do something different. You go with your gut, 1 out of 10 times.
Yeah. But he just gets in his way too much.
Yeah.
Like weird things, like, this guy should be batting against a left-hander, and you don't put him in there. That this guy has been struggling to close games, and you still go with him because you have this, I don't know, this loyalty towards these. This is weird.
Like the Cardinals not starting Nolan Gorman every day, despite the fact he's got 15 bombs and is one of the league leaders in RBIs, and you still platoon.
Listen, I do not understand that, but if they're going to continue to do that, that's just management just dropping the ball for you guys.
Cardinals lost in 2 out of 3 in Texas. They lost 2 of 3 against the Cincinnati Reds, although Jordan Montgomery, the Cardinals ace, did improve to 3-7 on the season. Gorman hit his 15th. Arenado had his 12th and 13th. You remember the Cardinals were exhausted. They were gassed when they had to play 19 days in a row. And they finally got 2 days off to get a little rest. And since then they've gone they've lost 7 of 9. They're 2-7 in the 9 games since. They're 27-39 on the season. But you remember that hot stretch? Remember when they got hot?
They got hot.
The goal, they got hot. They went 11-3 on a hot stretch. So if you take out that 11-3 stretch, they're in their other games, they're 16-36.
I mean, they're
At some point, the sample size is too big to say that this team is suddenly just going to make up 8 games and catch either the Brewers or the Pirates, who both suck.
Let me tell you.
What if they get hot?
That's the worst team than the Cubs right now, man.
I got to see.
And that's saying something.
Yeah,
I got to see Dylan Carlson play this week.
Yeah, how was that?
He was playing for the Redbirds, the AAA team.
Remember, we wouldn't trade him for Ted Williams.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
That actually worked out pretty good for you guys.
Yeah, not terrible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wilson Contreras, by the way, 4 for his last 36.
Jeez, man, that's brutal.
Scuffling.
Adam Wainwright's ERA this year is 5.79. He has struck out 12.6% of batters faced. That strikeout rate is the lowest among 138 major league starters that have pitched at least 30 innings this season.
And he's your horse.
Well, they're all kind of tied.
It's like a Clydesdale.
I mean, it's like it's like the whole hitch.
He's a pony.
We got a bunch of horses that just
He's
that
a
are-
mile.
they're
on the way to
in
the
training.
They're halfway to
They're on the way
halfway
to
to the glue factory.
Yeah, dude, you stole my line, man. I was just about to
Yeah.
say that.
7-15 in 1-run games for the Cardinals this season, which also is dreadful. So it's a rough time, and Ollie Marmol talked about it being just a rough time, frustrating times. Ball is not bouncing our way.
Happens.
Got to bounce away. Jordan Walker at least is back with the team, and he's clubbed a couple of home runs. So I guess going down to the minor leagues, they did teach him how to hit the ball in the air.
That's good. How's his defense?
Here's what was brought up on television the other day, which I thought was great. It was on MLB Network. They were talking about Jordan Walker and how they didn't understand that whole deal about sending a guy down to the minor leagues who is a power hitter to try and teach him how to hit the ball in the air. And they said, well, why would you try to send someone down to learn to hit the ball in the air? There's not one person who has ever played Major League Baseball, not one, who went into a game trying to hit ground balls. Not one. You're always trying to hit the ball in the air.
Mhm.
Always. Every time you swing the bat, you're trying to hit it hard and hit it in the air. Every time. So what they did was ridiculous. But
It worked.
he's come back and he's hitting
Yeah,
bombs.
he's
So
good.
yeah, I guess so. Hey, you can already get tickets for the Grizzlies for next season.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. You can get the season's biggest games, biggest giveaways, best seats at a great price with 2023-24 half-season plans. With tickets in high demand for the upcoming season, purchase a half-season plan. It provides you with significant savings off single game pricing. To get your tickets now, call 901-888-HOOP. And if you haven't already, if you're not watching on the new Grind City Media mobile app, you should be. It's very simple. So download the brand new official Grind City Media mobile app and explore new ways to access all your favorite GCM content. From your favorite shows and series to news and entertainment, you can stay connected with exclusive content at your fingertips with the new Grind City Media mobile app, available in both the Apple and Google Play stores. The app is very simple to watch this show and watch all the other great Grind City Media programs that are available to you. All right, let's go around the league. The American League East, the New York Yankees. Aaron Judge has a ligament sprain and a contusion in his toe, and they don't know how long he's going to be out. And it's not good. I'm watching when Rizzo doesn't play and Stanton has been in and out of the lineup. Their lineup is terrible.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm saying that because I was chasing betting yesterday and I bet on the Yankees last night and they lost to the Red Sox, but they sucked.
Yeah.
And Rizzo played and got picked off second. Come on.
They almost killed John Sterling.
And they almost killed John Sterling. I don't know how a ball hits you in the head. I got to be honest.
He said
When you're in the press, when you're in the press box and there's a foul ball, I don't know how the ball hits you in the head.
You know, I always thought there was supposed to be like a screen there somewhere, like
No,
glass or something.
like something like
no, most of them are open air.
that's crazy.
But just one of these moves.
I mean, look, Sterling.
just
Sterling
that's it. That's it.
Sterling has the past few years, there's been some instances where he didn't see things.
Yeah.
Because, he's like 80 something, right? Like he's older.
I think so. Yes.
Yeah. I would just close the window.
Yeah, maybe we should close the window. Yankees struggling, scuffling, lost 2 or 3 to the White Sox, also lost 2 to 3 to Boston. Yankees 9.5 out, still 9 games over 500. They are in third place in the East. Tampa still at the top spot. They won 3 of 4 at Boston. They swept 3 against Minnesota. They won 2 of 3 against Texas in that big showdown. They've won 8 of their last 9 games. Zach Eflin improved to 8-1. Shane McClanahan is now 10-1 on the season.
They got the 2 best pitchers in the league right now for me. Like,
man. And then they just got Tyler Glass now back, who got his first win in 2 years because of injury. Look out for the Rays.
Yeah, look,
best team in baseball.
Yeah,
not even close.
They are. It is what it is, man. I still can't figure it out.
They just put the guys in right position to succeed. Let's give Kevin Cash a little credit.
Yeah.
The Baltimore Orioles, they lost 2 or 3 at Milwaukee, but then swept 3 against Kansas City. Gunnar Henderson hit his 8th and 9th home run. One of them went 462 feet under the streets in right field there in Camden. Aaron Hicks, by the way, the former Yankee, hit his 2nd home run. He's reached base in all 10 games as an Oriole. How about that? Pretty nice to leave the Yankees.
Seems like the Yankees could use that.
Yeah, probably. Good point.
How many games are they behind, Fish, right now?
Baltimore's 5.5 back. They are 17 games over 500. They won their 41st game in late July last year.
They'd be running away with it if they was in the Central.
Pretty amazing what they are. They have a 4.5 game lead in the wild card race. Toronto, meanwhile, won 3 of 4 against Houston. Manoah was shelled and sent down to the Florida Complex League. Kevin Gausman had a 13 strikeout game, but then came back and got rocked when they lost 2 of 3 against Minnesota. Toronto's maybe they're 7 games over 500 and maybe the most disappointing team in the game. Well, except for the Cardinals.
Yeah, well, maybe a tie with Philly.
And Philly, yeah, they're pretty disappointing.
But Philly had like those severe, and you knew Harper was out, and then Hoskins got hurt. Yeah,
that's true. Yeah. Boston, meanwhile, they won 2 of 3 at the Yankees. 2 wins at Yankee Stadium. That equals last season's number. So congratulations to the Red Sox. Chris Sale's been moved to the 60-day injured list with a stress reaction in his shoulder blade.
Man.
Another guy.
Bad luck.
Yeah. In the worst division in baseball, which is saying something considering the National League Central, but the American League Central is worse. The top team is Minnesota. They're at 500. They were swept 3 games by Tampa, and they won 2 of 3 at Toronto. Carlos Correa hit his 8th home run of the season, so that's nice. Byron Buxton also placed on the injured list, bruised rib. It's kind of a common theme. Liam Hendricks of the White Sox also on the injured list, elbow inflammation, just a couple of days after his return. Kansas City, they were swept 3 games in Miami. Zach Greinke fell to 1-6 on the season. He's pitching tonight for the Royals. The Royals have now lost Jordan Lyles, keeping the Jordan Lyles update. They've now lost his first 13 starts this season. He is 0-10, and it's the first time they've lost a pitcher's first 13 starts of a season in franchise history.
I haven't looked at his stats. Is he getting run support?
No.
Apparently
but he's no good either.
I haven't looked at his stats either, but he's not getting run support. I can tell you that.
But he's no good either. And I haven't seen when he's pitching next, but when he's pitching next, load up on the team that they're playing.
Yeah.
Detroit is winless in June. Oh my goodness. They've lost 9 straight games.
Feel good stories down the toilet, huh?
Yeah. And they're only 5.5 out though, despite being 11 games under 500. In the American League West, Texas with a 5-game lead, won 2 of 3 against St. Louis. Marcus Semien had a 25-game hit streak, but their pitching's been amazing. Dane Dunning is 5-1, and John Gray is 6-2. He threw a complete game. Nathan Eovaldi's now 9-2. He beat the Rays. Best 60-game start in franchise history. Rangers are 40-20. Who's your favorite Ranger of all time?
Walker.
Yeah.
Walker?
Texas Ranger.
Oh, Walker, Texas Ranger.
Walker,
yeah,
Texas.
that was cute.
Yeah, you're funny.
Yeah, I don't know. Favorite Ranger of all time.
Yeah, that's like asking who's the tallest midget. I don't know, man.
I think I'd go Claudel Washington. Might be mine.
He's one of my favorite Braves of all time.
Yeah, I think I'd go with him. The Houston Astros lost 3 of 4 at Toronto. Yordan Alvarez hit his 16th and 17th home run, but then went to the injured list. 10-day IL, an oblique with Yordan Alvarez. The Angels, they are 6.5 out. They swept 3 against the Cubs and then won 2 of 3 against Seattle. Shohei went 3 of 4, 2 RBIs, a home run in a game that he pitched and got a no decision. Hit his 18th home run in game 2, went 3 for 5 in game 3 against Seattle. He is on fire.
It looks like they're figuring it out, Fish. That team, the A's. It looks like they're something's happening right now with that team.
They're still over 500. And so they're a game and a half out of the wild. They have something to play for still.
Yes.
Which is good. Now, Seattle Mariners, they need to turn things around. Jerry DiPoto, their general manager, said, and I quote, "A prime Babe Ruth wouldn't help us right now." How about that?
Yeah.
Man, Luis Castillo fell to 4-4 on the season. J-Rod did hit his 12th home run of the year. And then the Oakland Athletics are the hottest team in baseball. The A's have won 5 straight games. They've won 17 this season. They've won 5 straight, beating Pittsburgh 2 out of 3, snapping a 15-game road losing streak and winning their 3rd series of the year. Then they won their 4th series of the year as they sweep the top 2 teams in the National League Central. They beat Pittsburgh 2 of 3, and they beat Milwaukee all 3 games. A's are the first team in history to have a sub 200 winning percentage, at least 50 games into a season, and proceed to win 5 games all on the road against the top 2 teams in the NL Central.
Okay, you just beat me to it because I was going to ask whether or not those wins were on the road or at home.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now
Pittsburgh lost them at home.
That makes it even more impressive.
Unbelievable. National League East, the Mets. Oh, goodness. Swept in Atlanta after leading all 3 games by 3 or more runs. Alonso hit his 22nd home run, injured wrist after being hit by a pitch. He's out 3 to 4 weeks.
Everybody, a few Mets fans have hit me up about that, upset that, that happened. And I thought Alonso and Charlie Morton handled it really well because they came out after the game and were like, it wasn't intentional. And, apparently Morton and Alonso talked after it happened, like in the thing. I guess they're friends because Alonso kept calling him Chucky. So I guess he knows him, but he was like, no, he, it wasn't intentional and at all and da. So, but it's just unfortunate.
Throw it again.
He said it.
Philadelphia, they are playing better, I guess, but they're still under 500, game under 500. So they swept 3 against Detroit, won 2 of 3 against the Dodgers. They have won 7 of their last 8 games. Aaron Nola had his 29th game with 10 or more strikeouts as a Philly. He's 3rd all time with 29, 10 or more strikeout games. Kurt Schilling had 48 and Steve Carlton had 70.
Jeez.
It was good. Phillies have won 7 of their 8 games. However, they're complaining that the pitch clock at Citizens Bank Park is too fast.
Yeah.
That's weird.
A lot of people, I read the article and a lot of people said that
it's a fast clock.
There's not a lot faster. They said, I think they say it resets faster. Like the pitcher would catch the ball on the mound. New pitcher said he would catch it and he turned and looked and the clock was already at 13 or 12.
Oh yeah, that's not cool.
And they said it's only 1 second or 2 seconds faster, but that's enough to totally mess you up.
But you got to check who's handling that clock. That seems like that's some shadiness happening there.
Yeah. Miami Marlins, they are currently a wild card team, and they're only 3.5 behind the Braves. 8 games over 500 with their skipper, Skip Schumacher, former Cardinals bench coach, who they let go. Marlins swept 3 against Kansas City, won 2 of 3 at the White Sox. They've won 8 of 9 games. Alcantara finally had a good game. Jorge Soler has 19 home runs now on the season.
Dude can hit, man.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I don't know how you can be under the radar, with that type of,
I mean,
momentum
they got
happening, but
one
they
like
are.
he won like World Series games for us. Like I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
There's no way he's
it's
under the radar.
it's so weird because I don't really hear anybody talking about the Marlins like that. But every time I look at that record, I'm like, man, how the hell does that happen?
Well, and
Yeah.
they got a dude that's close to 400. Luis Arise is hitting 397
Jeez.
after he had a 1-for-5 on Sunday. He entered the day hitting 402, down to 397. Guys who have hit that high through the first 63 games of a season. Chipper Jones was the last in 2008. He was hitting 418. Larry Walker was hitting 416 in 1997. Wow, he was a hit machine.
I don't think we're ever going to see that, right? Are we ever going to see that again? Somebody
don't
just
think
hit
so.
400 in the league. That's just hard to do.
I don't think so, man.
Maybe
I mean,
Juan
it's
Soto.
so hard. No.
Good luck.
Arise has 37 multi-hit games since his last multi-strikeout game. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but 397. It's something to keep an eye on for sure. The National League Central, the pathetic, pitiful. I was going to try and say them together. National League Central, Pittsburgh Pirates are now in first place at 34-30, despite losing 2 of 3 to Oakland. They did win 2 of 3 against the Mets. Rich Hill now 6-5. Mitch Keller 8-2. Andrew McCutchen got his 2,000th hit. 5th active player with 2,000 hits.
Sneaky guy,
Yeah,
man.
good for him. Brewers are in second place. They're a game back after they won 2 of 3 against Baltimore, and then they were swept 3 games by the Oakland A's.
I keep waiting for that team to collapse, Fish.
Well, they are. I mean, it's not like they're playing well.
Like,
It's
I mean,
just-
totally collapse, like lose 8-10 straight, because I don't even see how
Yeah,
they're doing.
they'll lose 8 straight, and the Cardinals will gain a game. So that's the problem. Cincinnati's in third. They're 4 games back. Cubs are 2.5 behind Cincinnati. Cardinals 4 back at Cincinnati. Cincinnati lost 3 of 4 against Milwaukee. Then they came out, won 2 of 3 against the Dodgers with the debut of Ellie De La Cruz, who hit the hardest hit ball by a Red this season, 458 feet. And then Will Benson came up, their other youngster, and he hit a walk-off, his first home run of his career as well. And then they won 2 of 3 in St. Louis. They got to this rookie pitcher, Andrew Abbott, who in his debut in 6 innings, a scoreless 1-hit ball. And against the Cardinals, he went 5 2/3 scoreless and didn't allow a run. He is 2-0 starting with the Reds. So they got some good, fun young people on that team. We'll see what happens with them. And then in the West, who's in first place in the West, right?
I can't call it. Who?
Dodgers.
No, Arizona Diamondbacks. Pay attention to the
okay.
Diamondbacks, man. Diamondbacks have a 3.5 game lead over the Los Angeles Dodgers. Diamondbacks are 40-25 on the season after sweeping 2 games at Washington and sweeping 3 games at Detroit. They are 5 straight wins for the Diamondbacks, first place in the National League West, followed by the Dodgers. They got a new pitcher, Bobby Miller. He's a rookie. He's 3-0. He's allowed just 1 earned run. And Clayton Kershaw continues to pitch well. He's 8-4. JD Martinez has got 15 home runs on the season. Good for JD Martinez. Remember when he was really good? The Giants are in third in that division after sweeping 3 at Colorado, and then they did lose 2 or 3 against Cubs. Then the Padres in 4th. The best thing for the Padres right now is Gary Sanchez. He's got 5 home runs in 11 games for them.
I might have to take that back, Fish, about Philly being the most disappointing team. I think San Diego's that
or
team.
The Mets.
Well, I mean, at least the
There's
Mets,
some good candidates.
Yeah, at least the Mets got excuses with injuries, but there's no
Yeah.
excuse you can make with the Padres, man. None at all.
Tatis did hit his 12th home run of the season, which is pretty remarkable considering how much time he has missed, that he's got that many home runs. All right, checking out some of our guys. Shohei Ohtani, how about this week for Shohei? 10 of 24, 5 runs, 2 doubles, 3 homers, 5 RBIs, 5 innings pitched, 3 hits, 3 earned runs, 6 strikeouts, 5 walks. He's hitting 287, up 13 points from last week with 18 bombs and 46 RBIs.
I saw he almost got thrown out of a game. Did you see that for arguing a pitch?
No, I
And they
didn't
were,
see him get
yeah,
thrown
they were
out
talking
almost.
about how he didn't get thrown out, but
Okay,
he came
almost.
close. Yeah, they were talking about how he never really talks to the umps.
Right.
It was a 3-2 count, and it was just outside, and it was off by 3-4 inches, and it was called strike 3, and Nevin ended up coming out and getting thrown out, and had a pretty good outburst at the umpire. But
Right.
Ohtani was ticked, like, and he was like talking to the ump and like, giving him a piece of it, and then Nevin ran out there and kind of saved his guy and got thrown out. But I've never seen Ohtani kind of snap at the umpire like that. I don't think.
I saw Ohtani had, I think it was when he was pitching, there was a ground ball up the first base line where the batter kind of stopped running,
Yeah.
and they come to a standstill, and Ohtani like stuck his hand out to shake his hand and then tagged him.
Yeah,
Nice.
you know he's
He's the
upset
best.
if he's arguing with the ump. You know that he's pissed.
Yes, no
Yeah.
kidding. He's got an 8-game hit streak going on right now. Rough week for Wander Franco, 5 of 24 for the Rays, 4 runs scored, a double, a homer, 3 RBIs. He's got 8 homers, 32 RBIs. His average down to 299, so still hitting pretty good.
I mean, and the
for
team
average.
the team is still winning though, so
Oh,
I know
yeah.
he's probably happy about that.
No doubt. Julio Rodriguez. Oh man, come on, Julio. 6 of 21 on the week, 2 runs, both on home runs, 4 RBIs, hitting 245, down a point from last week. 12 homers, 36 RBIs. He's got to get the average up.
Yeah, and it seems like he's just hitting for home runs now.
Yeah. Juan Soto. How about this? He was 8 for 27. Pretty good week, with 2 runs and a double and 5 RBIs. Now, 5 of those 8 hits came in one game, and all 5 RBIs, I believe, came in one game as well. Soto's hitting 258. He's up 2 points from last week. He's got 10 homers, 31 RBIs. He went 5 for 5, and the Padres went over the Mariners on Wednesday. It was the 69th time that Soto has reached base safely 4 or more times in a game. That's tied with Mickey Mantle for the second most such games before turning 25 years old since 1900, trailing only Ted Williams, 81 times. How about that?
Yeah, he's got to get his average up to at least the 270s, man.
Yeah. Then we
At
got
least.
Ellie De La Cruz of the Reds, 8 of 22. This is his first week in baseball. He went 8 of 22, 7 runs, a double, a triple, a homer, 4 RBIs. He's hitting 316. Has hit safely in all 6 games and deemed himself when he said, quote, "I am the fastest man in the world." I like it.
Gotta
He
love
beat
it.
out a ground ball to first base yesterday, beat Wainwright to the bag. Well, and then he also infield in ground ball to short. He was at third, beat the throw to the plate. Dude is fast. Real fast. Yeah, check him out. I went 5-1 betting the Cardinals this week.
Look at you.
So I am now 33-33, which puts me 6 games ahead of the team. That's my goal, to finish better than the team this season. Here's what's on deck for us this week. Cardinals got 3 with the San Francisco Giants, 3 in New York against the Mets. Braves, you got 3 at Detroit and 4 against Colorado.
Oh, look at you, man. Come on.
Right? Seriously,
Come on.
Detroit's lost 9 straight.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, look, we played the A's and they had lost 10 in a row and beat us 2 out of 3. So
Yeah,
who
that's
knows?
true. That's true.
Yeah, whatever.
I mean, I
Murph?
think it's cool to see the Braves play Detroit. I mean, we haven't played in Detroit in a long time.
Yeah.
It's been like at least 10 years, it feels like. So it's cool to see him play up there.
Murph, you got the Pirates. Opportunity here for the Cubbies. Got the Pirates 3 games at home.
We got to get 2 out of 3. That's
Yeah.
all I'm looking at right now. 2 out of 3. Don't miss. She's got to go for it.
Yes. And then 3 at home against Baltimore following that.
That's gonna be tough, man. Baltimore is tough. I don't.
Yes, they are.
I'll be happy with a win out of Baltimore. 1 win.
All right. Well, then go 3-3 on the week. That's enough in the Central Division. Be all right. Other baseball, you got the Angels at the Rangers for 4 games in that AL West battle. Toronto is in Baltimore for 3. The Yankees at the Mets for 2. That starts tomorrow, 2-game set. And Milwaukee at Minnesota, a couple of first place. Well, no, Milwaukee's not in first place anymore. A couple of second place teams, Milwaukee and Minnesota for 2 games. Then this weekend, you got the Yankees in Boston again. The Yankees in Boston, they just played.
They play all the time.
Man, Yankees at Boston this weekend for 3. Toronto's in Texas for 3. Big National League Central battle. Pittsburgh in Milwaukee for 3 this weekend. That'll probably be on Apple TV, Fox, and Peacock.
It'll be on Peacock at 9:00 Sunday morning.
Sunday morning, yes. Breakfast from Milwaukee.
Breakfast with Pittsburgh.
And then San Francisco will be in LA to take on the Dodgers for 3 this weekend as well.
Did we talk about the bat flip with the Braves
one?
game? The Braves game?
Albies did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I don't think the bat has come out from the ground yet. I think that bat is still rising now.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. I mean, it was the 10th inning and we had been losing and it was the last game of the series and there was a lot going into that.
Yeah. Have any of you watched the College World Series at all?
I watched a little bit of it.
I've been watching the softball World Series actually, or whatever, not World Series, but the women's softball. It's been on during the daytime every day when we've been here at practice. So I've watched a lot of that.
Yeah, I've seen a little bit of that too during the day. I haven't gotten into it yet, but 2 big ones tonight with Tennessee and Southern Miss, and Stanford and Texas. A couple of game
How about that dude in
threes.
Stanford that threw 158 pitches?
156 pitches. No one in big league
Complete
baseball
game.
has thrown that many pitches since 2005, which I'm stunned it was probably Nolan
Yeah.
Ryan.
That is crazy that someone did that recently.
Yeah, it was probably Nolan Ryan. No, he couldn't have been pitched. Was he pitching in 2005?
I don't think so.
No,
I don't think so either.
No.
It was
That's only
probably
18.
like Tim Wakefield or Ari Dickey or somebody like a
Yeah,
knuckleball.
that's a good guess too. We'll look that up for next week's show. Find out the answer. I guess shouldn't have brought it up without knowing the answer.
I mean, was his arm hanging out of the socket
finger.
after that? Like what? Like, geez.
Oh, he's in college. It'll be fine.
Yeah. So do major league scouts look at him and go, nope, not touching him.
Yeah.
He is
know.
damaged goods. Or do they look at him and go, interesting. A guy can throw that much? Wow.
Yeah. Maybe
Interesting.
we should try that.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, that's going to do it for us here this week on Infield Fly. Thanks for joining us. It was a busy week in Major League Baseball. Looking forward to another one here this week as well as we get closer to Flag Day. Flag Day is coming up, later this week. So yeah, we'll really dig into the standings start next week when they matter. For Keith Murphy and Lang Whitaker, I'm Rob Fisher. Thanks for joining us here on Infield Fly. We'll talk to you next week, talking more baseball here on Grind City Media.
Go Cubs.